All right, I got another gift box from another subscriber in Texas. Oh, yes. So let's see. It's from Isidore. He's given me some stuff before, but I don't think any of it was heat treat. We got some heat treat this time. This is a large flat rate box full of good stuff. How good is it? I don't know. We will find out. Let's find out. Yeah. I always like finding out. Finding out if the goodies are goodies or baddies. Sometimes the goodies are really good. I have a feeling these goodies are really good. Yeah. 9.6 ounce bopper. Yeah, I mention that because people ask me whenever I volunteer the information. No one says thanks. I was going to ask that, but when I don't say it, they ask me, why didn't you mention it? This is good. I mean, this is really good. He didn't put the heat number on it, like how hot did it get? But your results may vary. If sometimes it's not good to put on the heat number because your results may vary. You may think you have this and you heat it to the same temperature and it doesn't come out right. So the moral of that story is you got to experiment with your rock. Your rock is different. Yeah. Experiment with your rock if you want to heat treat. Just assume that yours is going to be different. It might not be, but just assume that it is and you'll be safe, because then you'll have to experiment and then you'll have to see what your rock is up to. So always assume that your rock is different. Always. And if you don't know what to gather from the roadside or from the river or wherever you're getting your rock, if you don't know what to gather, you don't know what to test, just bring it all home. Yep. Or if you can't bring it all, just bring samples of each type. Just bring it all home and then experiment with it. Don't ask. Don't test it out there on the side of the road, throwing these flakes and chips everywhere where someone can get a flat tire. Just bring it all home. Everything. Or samples of it so you don't bring home a literal ton of it. Just wait. Experiment at home, and then when you got a feel for it, go back and get the good stuff. Yeah. And if you find a deposit of rocks that looks like flint, don't send me a picture and go, okay, how do I make big blades with it? Look, I found a big deposit of flint. How do I make big blades? Well, first of all, I don't know what kind of flint it is, right? Because I just know if it naps or not. I don't pay attention to what type it is. So I'm not going to be good at identifying it. And number two, you need to figure out how it naps. Not me. I can't figure out how it naps from a photograph. You might think I can figure out how it naps from a photograph if you're new. But just so you know, I cannot figure out how it naps from a photograph. Experienced nappers, and they know this. So they don't ask me that kind of stuff. But new nappers, they go, I found some flint. I see big blades in my future along with dollar signs. Now how do I do it? How you do it is you have to experiment with your stuff. Yep. So that's what I'm going to answer from now on. Even if I think I know what's going on with that flint, or what type it is, or how well it naps, it's always going to be the same answer. Bring it home and experiment. I'll help you set up the experiments, but I won't tell you how it naps, because I can't do it from photographs or videos. Nope. It's all first-hand stuff. You gotta be there. I gotta be there. Now, I have been there with guys that pick up stuff from the side of the road to tell them if it's good or not. They go, "Is this good? I found it down there." Yeah. And I look at it, and I have my little hammer that I bring with me. I tap on it, and I go, "Yeah, it's okay," or "Yeah, it's really good," or "No, this is not going to work." We have a nickname for rock that's not going to work. We call it leverite. The lever right there. Yep. A lot of it's leverite. So just be prepared if you think you got flint or chert on your property, or in a spot where you can get free stone. Most of it's going to be leverite. Yeah, just be aware. Now, if you're lucky, it won't be leverite. Now, how many people are really lucky? Or lucky at all? Not very many. I'll tell you right now, I have not seen people that are very, very lucky very often. I have seen them, but I haven't seen them often. Most of the time when the guys send me pictures or samples of rock from their property or from free sites, it's not good. Yeah. In this day and age with the internet, everybody knows all the sites where you can get rock for free. Yeah. Believe it or not. They know. Especially the rock hounds. The ones that sell rock, they have radar for who's talking about rock online. And they figure out who's talking about the rocks online. And they keep up with it. Someone's talking about rock at a certain location, blah, 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 highway, blah, blah, blah. In some state, they're immediately in their truck, headed that way. It could be an 8-hour trip. It could be an 18-hour trip. They're on their way. And they will find it. And if it's good, they will snatch every single profitable rock from that spot within 2 hours. And then head home. And you will not see that rock ever again. Because they will sell it to their high-end clients. It will not be available to the public. Yep, unless they're high-end clients or not looking for that particular type of stone. Then they might sell it to the public. Many times they'll just hang on to it until the high-end clients come around and say, "Okay, remember that stone you showed me one time? Still there? I'll buy it all." Yeah, it's still here. I've been waiting for you to say that, those 3 words. I'll buy it. Or the 4 words. I'll buy it all. That's what happens. Yeah. So what is this? This is not a heat treat, but it's excellent. This is a heat treat, but I knocked off the heat treat symbol. So what that means, I got to put it back on here. Yeah. I'm glad you reminded me, because I would have forgotten. Now what about these? Yeah, these, I can go back and collect the good flakes and put the heat treat symbol back on there, but I usually don't. Why? I think you know why. It just takes too long. But those bifaces like that, it's worth it to relabel them so that I know what's up with bifaces coming up. See, with these little flakes, I can make arrowheads out of them, regardless of if they're good or not. However, with these, if it's a really bad piece, I usually don't bother with the biface, the big one, because it's so difficult to thin down a large bad piece that it's not even worth it. I'll just either give it to somebody, or I'll heat it to see if I can make it better, or I'll just break it into 2 smaller pieces. That way I can nap it easier, and I don't need to thin it down as much. Yeah, the ratio doesn't have to be as good with a smaller piece. So it looks thin, you know, in general, or to a casual observer, it still looks thin. But if I try to sell something thick like this, it doesn't go. It doesn't work. I mean, I can as a biface, but it sells for like 1/10 the amount of a nice looking point. Alright, so this is heat treat. This is good. It's not top of the line stuff because it's got some imperfections in it, but it's good. It's like a 7 or 8 out of 10, with 10 being best. That's like a 9 right there, that one. And for raw stuff, this is excellent. This is like an 8 on the scale of 1 to 10, and it's raw. But every time it has an inclusion like that where it's a crack, it drops down 2 points. So from being an 8, it's now a 6 in this area. Even though it's nice and easy to nap, if I have that within my point, it drops down to a 6 as an example in nappability. And this concrete patch drops it down 1 point. If I can nap through it, it only drops 1 point. If it stops flakes, it drops it down 2 points. So this is an 8 as far as material, right? But this drops it down to a 7. These kinds of cracks right here drop it down to a 6. Okay? This one here is about a 7 in quality. And when you reach a patch like this, it goes down to a 6. And 5 being floor tile. So it's just a step up from being floor tile when it has these inclusions in it. 5 is floor tile. That's the mid-range of all rock. Yeah, so if you know what floor tile naps like, half the rocks you'll find for napping are better and half of them are worse. It's just a general rule that I came up with. It may not be very accurate, but that's what I use. Yeah, some of this stuff I really look forward to napping. Yeah. I say that with this one. No. This one, I'm not looking forward to napping this as much as some of these other ones. I'm looking forward to napping that one right there. And this one here, as long as it doesn't have cracks in it. And I don't know about these smaller ones, because as you thin down these pieces, these cracks really become a hassle. See these little imperfections? They just snap the point in half. But if you have a substantial piece, it doesn't break as easy. Yeah, the larger the piece, the better as far as snapping in half when it's got defects. I can probably make a good arrowhead out of this one. Even with that concrete inclusion right there, I can just nap through it. Most of it. Get rid of this part and keep, get rid of this part and keep this part. Yeah. I can nap away this stuff and keep that. It's a nice flat flake. I can make a nice perdice or something like that out of that one. This one looks interesting. I've seen this type of rock before and I like it. It's inconsistent. These these gray areas. These are sometimes difficult to nap through, but it's good. It's a heat treat. That makes it easier to nap through. Okay, what is this? Wait a second. This is huge. There's no HT on it, which is good. You're not supposed to heat treat stuff this large. Is it flint? Probably not. Let's see. How do I do this without breaking myself? I don't have a towel available where I put a towel down. Anyway, here we go. Let's see. Oh, that's a nice crack. When it, how should I explain? When I say nice crack, it's like, it's in a positive way, like a nice crack of the whip. You know that the whip is a good quality when there's a good crack to it. That's the same as the rock. So I know it's knappable when it's got a good cracking sound, but it needs to be heat treated because that's rough. It's knappable but rough. It's like a quartzite. But once it's heated, it goes from like a 3 or a 4 to a 6 or 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. Right now it's a 3 or a 4. It's worse than floor tile in that area. Here it's better than floor tile, but it grades into this nasty stuff. So this needs heat. I'm not going to nap it down. I'll spall it, but I need to focus on spalling it and not be goofing around like I'm doing on this video. I'm goofing around on this video because this is just enjoyable for me to break into these various pieces. And this is a large one too. Dang it. Someone's going to expect a 9-inch blade here pretty soon. This is only 7, okay? So don't expect a 9-inch. What's this one? This is longer than 9, so you should be able to get a 9-inch blade. Yeah, I know I should. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. I'm not going to because I've already stopped worrying about napping big blades. I would prefer to nap the small ones. Yeah, in fact, I prefer just to take spalls off that are this long. You know, 3 to 4 inches. Can you see? No, this, you can zoom in, right? Or I can zoom in. Where'd it go? Nope, it didn't go. You can't zoom. It didn't work. See, 3 to 4 inch range. That's what I like. So I would just go down this. Okay, hold on. Back up. I would just take this natural surface here and use it to spall off 3 and 4 inch pieces. Instead of making a big blade out of it, I would just spall off 3 and 4 inch pieces. Okay? So don't get your hopes up. Yeah. Besides, I get more views on my smoking videos than I do on the big blade videos. So there's that. If I want a good, solid, high view video, I'll just prepare some more mullein. In fact, I've been trying to dry it out so it turns brown, and it doesn't turn brown even in the oven. Yeah, I put some in the oven last night at 245 degrees for 45 minutes. It went in like this. This is a mullein leaf. It went in like this and came out like this. So that theory about the chlorophyll breaking down in the heat didn't work very well. So either that stuff is pigmented with green somehow, or there's something stabilizing the chlorophyll in the mullein so it doesn't break down. Yeah. I might even try making a pigment out of ground up mullein leaves, and if it stays green in the sun, it must be some sort of pigmentation of the leaf itself and not the chlorophyll that makes it green. Although chlorophyll does make it green too, yeah. I'll get into that later. This is the Flintknapping video. Yeah. The reason why I brought it up is because I can make more views on another type of video. I don't need to make big blades. That's why I brought it up. Okay. Yeah, I could probably, like one of my subscribers, a smart guy, he says I can probably make more or have more views just popping little bubbles from bubble wrap than I can if I post a video on big blades. Yeah, just sit there, ASMR bubble wrap pop. Just pop the bubble wrap. Yeah. Make 100,000 views. Some crazy number. Knowing that I didn't have to spend the last 10 years of my life learning this is not fun. As far as numbers of views go. But of course, I don't do it for numbers of views necessarily. I do it because I do enjoy it. It's my hobby. I'm turning my hobby into a business. Yeah. And whatever happens, happens. I don't make lots of views. Oh well. Yeah. Now this one I might be able to get a good blade out of it, but it's got defects. It's got weirdness. But other than that, this is a nice grade of root beerish type chert. Yeah. It's got defects, right? So it brings it down a point or two from a 7 or 8 in terms of quality. It's like a 6, just above floor tile when you got defects like that. Yeah. Of course, it's sharper than floor tile once you get an arrowhead out of it. It's more attractive than floor tile, and you can sell it for a lot more money than you can floor tile. So there are benefits to chert over floor tile, even though they might both be like a 5 in terms of nappability. Chert will always outsell and outclass the floor tile in other areas. Yeah, marketability especially. And for sharp edges and hunting, natural stone is much better. Come on. It's a perfect platform. What are you doing? There it goes. It's got a crack. It's got a crackiola pudding. And it's putting dimples in my bopper. Yep. I shouldn't mess with this at this time. Yeah, look at all that mess. I shouldn't mess with the mess. Nope. I like that sound of blades hitting the ground. The sound of blades hitting the ground. Yeah. It snaps in half. You see that? A lot of these are snapping in half. Now this one has an excuse because there was a defect in it. That's why that snapped in half. But that would have been sweet as a whole flake. But yeah, it's got cortical imperfections. Cortical imperfections, if you want the technical term. The cortex is cortical. C-O-R-T-I-C-A-L. Cortical. Voila. And that was not a perfect platform. That was far from being perfect. I'm going to hit it right on the edge of this time. I'm not going to hit on a flat spot. I'm going to hit right on the edge, on this edge. And I'm going to do it again too. On this ridge, I mean, on the ridge. Why did I say edge? I thought I said edge. The only reason why I caught the mistake is because I listened to what I said, and from my memory of the listening, I realized I said edge when I meant ridge. So I'm going to hit that ridge right there. Wait, is there still some loose material? No, okay. Hitting ridge number 2. Number 2 strike attempt. Yeah, so I hit right on the ridge. Why did I do that? Because there's no real platform. Not in the quote traditional sense of a platform. Normally, when you think of platforms, like back in the day when everyone first started napping, it's implied to be flat like this, and not to hit on a ridge, but on a valley, so to speak. Yeah, but you can hit on ridges. This did snap in half, and I don't think it had an excuse. Yeah, there's no excuse for that, so this is snap in half-ish. That should have been a whole flake. Yeah. So that I got to be careful with this stuff. I should mark it because I will forget. This is snap in half-ish. Snap in half-ish. However you want to spell it, there's no correct way and there's no wrong way. Snap in half-ish. Alright, what else? I don't label a smaller one snap in half-ish because they don't snap in half nearly as much as the bigger ones. Alright. Let's try this one. What is it? It is a chert. This is the kind of stuff that I find on the roadsides. Yeah. You know, the heavy equipment dig it up. There's a lot of this stuff on the surface in Texas. This type of chert. Yeah. So it varies in quality. Greatly varies. See that? It goes from like here is like a 7 or 8 quality. It goes down to about a 6 and then 4 and then about a 3 right there. See that? And heat treating does even that out, but there's still differences even after you heat treat. And then it has this stuff. So this might not even be good to heat treat because this gets worse with heat treatment. It feels solid, so I might be able to get something out of there. But for the most part, this piece is junk. I might be able to get something out of this part. I gotta trim off all the cortex to see what's under it. Some of it is damaged by impacts. See, you get little bulbs of percussion here and here, as an example, and one right there. Because this has been tumbling in a river, it gets little bulbs of percussion from other rocks hitting it while it's tumbling. Yeah, and those will mess you up. You think, ooh, it's nice and smooth, but it's not smooth. It's got incipients. Yeah. Why do I say smooth? S-M-O-O-D. That's the way my mother used to say smooth. She couldn't say the TH very well. The. So she said the. Smooth. I pick up a lot of the way I goof around with my speech from people from my family. Yeah. So I might be able to get an arrowhead from that, maybe. It's just got so many defects that it might not even be worth it. Oops. And especially, don't give this stuff to beginners. This is immoral to give that to a beginner. Do not do it. And if you're a beginner and you see some crud like that, don't do that to yourself. Yeah. This one is more consistent, but it's poor quality stuff. It needs heat. And this particular piece. The one I was napping on before was a higher grade. Yeah, this is a higher grade of nappability, but it's got more defects. This is lower grade of nappability, but it has less defects. So heat treat this, you'll probably have more success with this after heat treatment than this in a raw state. And if you heat treat this, it'll probably get worse because it's already got a lot of existing weirdness. But you never know. Your results may vary. You might say, dude, I've napped and I've heat treated flakes from this stuff, and none of it does anything like what you say it does. Okay then. Now you know. I'm glad you went through the experimentation and found out. Your results varied from my results. Like I said, you proved my point. And this side of the rock, that looks sweet. This one is sweet. And I would never think that it came off of this, because it didn't. It came off of this side, which is a totally opposite side. Yeah, but I wouldn't think that something of that quality would be on this stone. Yeah, surprising that it's nice right there. Without incipients. I don't see any incipients. No little bulbs of percussion. Yeah, very nice. You still might be thinking, how do I make big blades from it? Once in a while, you'll get one that you can make a big blade out of. Maybe. You want to know how to do the impossible? I cannot tell you. Come on. Yeah. You can't. One of the impossible things is you can't nap through existing cracks. It tried to go, because you see that? This is an incomplete fracture. It tried to go here, but it got stopped right here with this mess. Yeah, so I loosened it up. It's all crackiola pudding down in this area. Still good. It still may have some good spots in it. I don't reject this type of stone at all. It might still have some good potential. Yeah. So you just spall it down little by little. Don't try for anything stupendous. That one's got cracks. It's got a hole, no? Crystal pocket. It's not a hole all the way through. Yeah, that's a good potential heat treat right there. Yeah. Ouch. I don't like it when it cracks at the beginning of the flake. Yeah, this is snapping halfish. Hit it right there, dude. It looks juicy. Looks like you could get a big one. Yeah, I know, but it doesn't work. The best opportunities are often the worst. The best looking opportunities are often the worst opportunities. I'd probably be better off hitting from the end into this way. Yeah. Knock off this cortex and hit that way. Because this is good stuff here. It'll probably travel well through the good stuff, and then once it encounters the bad stuff, it has enough momentum behind it that it'll blast through that too. But if I start with the bad stuff, like if I hit it here and try to get flake this way, it'll stop too soon. You won't get any momentum because it's just bad material. Here, at least, if it does stop, it'll stop at the end of the flake instead of the beginning of the flake. Let's see. You might say, no, you're getting rid of the length. Yes, I know. But I want big blades. Same old story over and over. Can't have it. You can't have your big blades and eat them too. Nope. Ooh, it does have defects. Yeah. So some of those small flakes I can still use, but it's got nasties. Look at that. See that? I'm getting a phone call. It's probably important. Hold on. No, I didn't answer it. I actually hit the wrong button. I was gonna answer it. Dang it. Okay, I'm gonna nap this one later because it looks like it's all nasty. And yeah, I took that hit from right here or wherever it was. Yeah, right here. Just to see. And it's nasty. That one I might not be able to use at all. It's possible that it could be completely broken up. This one, yeah, everything else is similar. So what I'm going to do is I need to redial that number and call it back because I have a feeling it's important. So I'm going to put this stuff back in the box. I've already napped what I can. I've already napped enough so that I can see what I've got. Yeah. Okay. So I have an idea of what's in here. Yeah. Some of it is trash. Yeah, I get a feeling that's an important phone call because once it starts getting close to like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, all the important calls start coming in before the end of the day. I gotta go. Alright, so there you go. That was interesting. Thanks, Isidore. There's some really sweet stuff in here. And there's some heat material. Heat treat material in here. Plenty of this nice looking translucent stuff. Yeah, excellent. Alright, that's it.